seen. You're all I need. You're all I need. Yeah. So now I'm learning to walk in your steps. And through the valley of confusion, I've been losing my apprehension with death. But you said, let me lead you, let me take you by the hand, so I can feed you from a good and precious land. Now I owe it all to you, giving my heart to you, freedom becoming true. Nobody else like you, do what you promised to, and I'm so grateful for your love. And all my eyes have seen the wonders of your mystery received. I've tasted what it means. Now nothing else is good enough for me. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I need. Oh, I need you. Yeah, I need you. Oh, I need you now. Now I owe it all to you, giving my heart to you, freedom becoming true. Nobody else like you, do what you promised to, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I need you in my life.
What's up, everybody? We are live, and we're in the Lion's Den right now. Tough week, crazy stuff happening. Right after we went live on Tuesday, the next day, everything kind of just went crazy. So we're going to talk about a lot of that tonight. We're going to get into a lot of deep discussion about that and what it means and what everybody's feeling and all of that good stuff. But if you're here, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with your friends. We are ready to go. You're watching Young Lion TV. Here we are.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yeah. That's that theme song. That's what it means. It's time for us to go live on Young Lion TV. This is the Young Lion podcast, where we come together and talk about what's been going on in the world. We talk about, what's on our minds and little topics that we want to discuss. If you're new to the show here, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button and share this video with your friends, because the algorithm does not support us, because our conversations get very, controversial. But, we come together, we talk about this stuff. We've been doing it for years. We're just a group of friends and brothers and sons and fathers and husbands, trying to spread the message of following Jesus Christ, and also living life in a way that pleases God, and how to be a better father and a better husband, and grow community in a way that wants to see those morals and those values expand. So those are the things that we always kind of touch on here, and that's the main focus of our message and has been, and also waking people up from the like blind spells that we've been under and we get put under by the media and by just propaganda from being children. So if that's something that you feel as though you want to support and get behind, you can become a member and go on over to our Patreon, which is in the description. You can click the link there, patreon.com/YoungLionTV. Become a member over there. Shout out to all the Patreon members that are tuning in. I see our sis Courtney in the chat. Good evening, family. Love you all. We love you too. Patreon member there. And we appreciate everybody. Also, if you want to get merch, that link is in our description as well. You can get the t-shirts and hats and rep the community of the Young Lions, which are here to just constantly grow. Shout out to another Patreon member. He said, "Good evening, Lions." It's our boy Emma in the chat. But yeah, we're here. We're going to talk about all of this stuff that's been going on. If you want to come see us live, one more announcement. We are doing a show at the City Winery in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, November 1st. And it's going to be a great live event. You can come and hear our music, hear us, try to spread this message of love and of God throughout the world, and meet us. Come get a album. We got new vinyls that we've been selling at the shows that people are loving. And you can come see us live there. Tickets are on sale at citywinery.com/Philadelphia. Get your tickets there before they sell out. And that's it, man. But I got with me this evening, you see my brother sitting next to me. She switched the camera too early. We got my brother sitting next to me. You see him there. He is, in fact, the coolest Asian you'll see in the podcast world. I guarantee it. He's my brother. I've known him since high school. It's Mr. Simone Chang in the building.
What's up?
Yes, sir. And now you can switch the camera, Mom. We got my two other brothers, brother-in-law and brother-in-blood. Both my big brothers. One is a month older. And one's 15 months older. One is the half black, half Indian with the Spanish last name, Mr. James Garcia, in the building.
Also brother in the blood of Jesus Christ.
Also what?
A brother in the blood of Jesus Christ.
That's right. That's right. You better let them know. And then
that kind of blood brother.
Right. The only blood that matters. And then we have, he's my big brother. I've known him since I came out the womb. But he's everybody's big brother if you know him. He is the preacher, the teacher, the people reacher, Jacob Eugene Evans III.
The whole name.
The whole name, baby. You gotta put the whole thing out there. And of course, we got holding it down on the production. She's switching the camera. She left her phone in the other room, so she's not distracted.
I'm still switched. I didn't switch it.
Yeah, no,
you switch it.
Yeah, you switched it too quick.
Yeah.
Now you on it. You like, well, let me get ahead of it now. Yeah, but we love her. She's our mom. She is the best podcast boomer out there, Angeli Lopez. And I will be holding it down on the ones and twos, trying to bring these clips up, trying to see the comments, trying to navigate these podcast waters. And we like to say, yes, I look like somebody that you think you know or you saw with a beard that's light-skinned and racially ambiguous.
Canelo
is another one, yes.
Canelo, no.
Got his butt whooped. My name is Jamie Evans over here. If he had a longer beard, I would get it. Trust me.
Probably would.
Trust me. But yeah, we're here. We're in the building. Right after the next day was a crazy day. Anybody want to start with any thoughts on what we experienced last week?
Just sad. The whole thing.
Yeah.
How it. I honestly still have not seen like a close-up of it because I refuse to watch it.
Like the actual video?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like a faraway shot where, his body kind of falls back, but I know there's other angles that I purposely,
Yeah,
don't want to watch it.
I saw it, not knowing what it was. Yeah, it was bad.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
Traumatizing. Yeah. That was kind of my thing too. Like, I'm always on X, and I just so happened to be talking to my daughter, and she was actually telling me a good story from school. One of her friends and her connected over like them realizing that they believe the same things or whatever. And as she's telling me that, I'm on X, and we're both looking like, what? Charlie Kirk shot. And I click on the video. It was the zoomed out one, but then the first comment under it was the zoomed in angle, and like when we saw it, we both were like, "Oh my God!" I like almost closed the laptop because it just was so horrifying to see. Like I wasn't expecting that at all, and like it looked like it was AI to me. Like we were hoping that someone was playing a sick joke, like that they found out like that it happened. And it wasn't that bad, but someone were making AI videos trying to make it worse, to get clicks. But once we found out, like, man, it was just like, put the word out there. Everybody was trying to pray for him and his family and hoping for the best. I think a lot of people were scared to say what they saw in that video because, I mean, when you see the video, you're kind of like, it looked like there was no chance, but I feel like people didn't want to say that. They don't want to speak that into existence. So it was like, we got to believe and pray. But unfortunately, it was what we saw. And it was just heavy for the next, like we had rehearsal that day and like the whole time was just heavy. It was hard to kind of really get in the groove with everything. And even for like the rest of the week, And I'm not like most of the people that I talk to, a lot of people that like really didn't even follow Charlie Kirk, like people that didn't really even know what he stood for. But just seeing that and knowing what it meant for us as a nation and knowing what it meant like spiritually, even like what that kind of brought out and what that meant. If a lot of people were feeling like, wow, this hit them harder than they expected. You know what I mean? And I've heard even guys on my soccer team were like talking about that. Like, I've seen people get shot before. I've seen, political people. But this one feels different. Yeah. Something about it feels different. And I think it was the people knowing how just dark it kind of gets when someone who is just willing to kind of engage in conversation isn't out there, trying to be too divisive. Says controversial stuff, but not like one of the worst that we've seen. And then that's the person that.
But they make his. Sorry to cut you off, but they'll cut what he says. Same kind of like what Trump says. I feel like Trump is worse. But
Trump gives them way more material.
Yeah,
yeah.
But they take what he says and just take a sentence, and it can look like it's totally okay. This dude is a racist.
Yeah.
But if you don't watch what he really says, the whole context of it, that's what I've been having conversations with some people that we know. You can't just, did he really say this? Man, and he's a racist. I'm like, yo, just if you care, if you're this is what I told this person, right? And y'all know him. If you're willing to make a feel some way about somebody and you don't want to do the because he kind of made light of it, like I don't want to spend the time to do that. Well, you don't deserve an opinion, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you can't have a strong opinion about something if you're not willing to go and dig into it.
Yeah. Well, let's call it what it is. It's judgment. So like,
yeah,
if you're gonna judge anything, then you should be responsible with how you judge things.
Right.
And you can't go into something because you heard something about somebody.
Yeah.
Well, in a court of law, a judge can't come down with the final judgment until they've heard all the evidence, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like people want to just get their little their little talking points and then say, okay, got it, that's it. And a lot of times, you know, and that was one of the hardest parts, was just seeing all of the celebrating and negativity, like
So dark.
and I, you know, like we said, we're not going to show any of that tonight. I don't even want to bring that. I don't even want to shed light on that. But just seeing the celebration from a lot of people, and people just regurgitating the same 4 little quotes that they got from somebody's comment section, or a meme, or just a picture with quotes on it that they told. None of these people know Charlie Kirk or have watched any of his content, but they've made up their minds about what he said and what he believed in, and have, you know, now celebrated a man's death based off of something that they saw from someone else quoting from a comment, you know, and not ever knowing anything really, you know. And that's the part that
They
was
created a
sad.
character in their head of who he was.
Yeah, and it's easy to do that because he's a conservative. He was a Trump supporter. He was one of the main reasons why Trump got a lot of the younger votes. You've already made up your mind that Trump is a racist, he's a white supremacist, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, especially because they've been saying it all election cycle. You know, they called his rallies Nazi rallies when he was at Madison Square Garden and all those people showed up. It was a Nazi rally. We played it on here. They showed the footage of when Hitler came to the Madison Square Garden, you know, and they constantly are calling someone a Nazi and Hitler
And fascist.
and fascists, and then you connect someone like Charlie Kirk to that without ever really knowing like what he stood for and what he was out there preaching and what he was trying to do by going to these college campuses. And it's easy to just be like, oh, well, he supported Trump, so he's got to be a white supremacist too. And then you find these little out of context quotes that people took, and they can say, oh, that stamps it, that justifies it. That proves it right there.
They don't like black pilots.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't like black pilots. He wished the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. And what was the other ones?
The black women thing.
Black women don't have the brain capacity. What was the other one that they kept
He
quoting?
didn't like gays. I saw that.
No, it was if you have empathy, you're weak. And the other one was a little bit of gun deaths are needed to justify the Second Amendment, or to solidify the Second Amendment. All those things, some of those things he never even said, and then a lot of the ones that
they twisted.
Yeah, they twisted them and took them completely out of context.
Yeah, when I saw it, I knew. I mean, of course, my heart sank because his family was in the audience. His wife and his kids and stuff like that. And not just them. I mean, they're the most important people that are going to be affected the most. But imagine being right there, front row, and you witness this, because there's no way anybody would survive that.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, you know, we're hopeful and we're praying for that. But that's a precision kill shot. Mm-hmm. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And to watch that on X shows how comfortable we have become with, if I don't agree with you, you deserve death.
Yeah.
And you deserve to die. Not just die, but horrific.
In front of thousands of people and your family.
Right. And, you know, we were sharing it and stuff like that. And at first I didn't want to watch it. But I think in watching it, it reaffirmed how far we've fallen as human beings, where just the idea of a conversation enrages you to you are celebrating a violent assassination.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to get to that point where you're in a space where you've and by the way, whether it's, we know the media pushing an agenda or indoctrination or whatever it is, but when you've allowed yourself to get to a place where dialogue, because he didn't kill anybody. I may not agree with the delivery of certain things, or I would have said it different, but I don't know the context in which how he was trying to draw people's attention.
Yeah.
What I admired about him was that he was brave enough to do something. Because listen, you have a young family. You have to understand the risk of putting yourself out there and he would bring his wife and kids with him.
Yeah.
And to have these conversations is difficult. We all know that we've gotten braver over the years because we started doing this, but having these conversations, we were in a generation where we were taught, do not have these conversations, including friends. Having a conversation about politics, race, religion were off limits in our time. Charlie is what, 15 years younger than us? To see him being able to go out in public, sit down, have a conversation, because he would openly say, listen, I didn't go to college, but he was a well-learned man. He was obviously, I can't remember the terminology for someone who's self-taught, but he was very self-taught. He reminded me a lot of Malcolm X in terms of his delivery.
Right.
You know, where Malcolm X was self-taught in prison, but Malcolm X had a delivery that drew your attention.
Yeah.
He drew people's attention, whether positive or negative. But one thing he was willing to do was he was willing to have a conversation. Even if the person, because a lot of the times what people miss is he was polite, and people would lead in with insult.
Yeah.
They wanted to insult him, and he would say, come on. And he would never fire back at them. So he was well
A lot of
polished in that way.
times he would take it tongue in cheek, and he
would.
would make fun of
He would.
himself. You know,
That and watching him over the years, or like I said, not that I watch a lot of his videos, but watching him, specifically him and Candace Owen, people don't know this, but he commanded a $95 million empire that he was in charge of.
He started from nothing,
From scratch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He started when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
So he was an impressive human being to begin with. To accomplish that feat in today's time, is impressive. And he was knowledgeable.
Yeah,
He was an articulate, knowledgeable guy. He wasn't he like I said, delivery here and here, give or take, but I understand that in this field, sometimes you're going to have to say things to get people's attention, to draw their attention to certain things, and you can explain how you feel. But I've never seen in all of his debates that I watched, everyone came to challenge him.
yeah,
But it was regurgitated, nonsensical, racist, homophobic talking points. Never getting to the root of what he's challenge him on that. Right? That's what he was trying to encourage. And for a short time, there was hope because he was changing a lot of youth. Because, like I said, we live in a country where silence and complicit allegiance, because people are afraid to step out of their friend group.
Yeah.
They're afraid to step out of their political regime, their family. A lot of people are very afraid, including us at one time before we started to have this conversation. People are afraid to step out of the comfort zone because they don't want to be excommunicated or labeled.
right.
And he was able to show young people, no, you don't have to be afraid of this. You have to be knowledgeable. Don't just get into a back and forth for the sake of that.
Yeah.
Have a point, have an understanding. Because people would ask him, people would go up. Not every conversation was contentious. I know that's what people like to see. But people would say, hey, Charlie, how do I get married? How do I do this? A lot of that was missed.
Yep.
Well,
they don't go viral. Those
They don't
clips.
go viral.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think when you watch a lot of that content, that's what his main message was.
That's what his main message
His main
was.
message was get married, start a family, follow Jesus. Like that was his main message. That this is what's going to help our society, and it was resonating with a lot of young people. I mean,
Yeah.
I just saw an article today about how Gen Z and Gen Alpha are becoming the most Christian
Sure.
generation.
What's that podcast? You made a comparison to it. We Woke Now or something. It's the white guy who does like the Myron Gaines kind of fish and fish thing.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know that he was one of the only, he went on to talk to a bunch of young women who were
Yep.
in the sex industry. There was the only time that they were having dialogue that it wasn't combative.
Because he wasn't disrespecting them. He was reaching them, like, and they a lot of them said, like, you're the first person to come on here and talk to us where we could actually listen.
Those moments don't go viral though.
Yeah, they don't.
So
Yeah. You know,
That's the thing. He played the long game.
yeah.
He didn't play the gotcha game, and you've seen that with what he talked about. I mean, when you look at this guy did hundreds of colleges, thousands of conversations. You know, you're not gonna say everything perfect. First of all, like, come on, let's be real. How many people are having that many conversations?
Oh, we got to cut this out.
Yeah.
What are we looking for?
Right.
But he was a blessing to so many. I came across so many videos of people who like met him one-on-one and he helped them in some way. Like, man, it's amazing the impact he had on so many people and just what's going on now. Like,
Yeah.
how many people are going to church,
Yeah.
doing, reading, getting a Bible,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people who
I got a bunch
don't
of
believe in
videos of that
God.
stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just, it blows my. That's all I see. All I see.
That's what we're celebrating here.
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
Beautiful,
He
man.
lost his life, but there's victory here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The effect of that is going to resonate much further. I was watching, Tim Pool after this all happened. He was talking about Charlie and how much Charlie helped them when he didn't have to, and how much stuff he would bend over backwards to help them out, and like he built them a studio before, and made sure he was the last one there to help them get set up, even when all his staff went home. And one of the guys that was there was talking about how Charlie always wanted to serve. He wanted to. He was one of the type of people that wanted to win people over by serving, even though he had created this huge empire and he was this leader. He was a servant.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about, like, he wanted to mirror Christ.
Yeah. And he didn't want to take credit for it. I didn't even know. You guys, are you guys familiar with Patrick Wooden?
No.
He's a black pastor, older black pastor. He comes out against the left a lot, and he speaks out against.
I know who you're
Bishop
talking about.
Wooden.
Yeah, Bishop. Yeah.
I didn't know this. He gave a little bit of a eulogy on his church on Sunday, and his son and daughter-in-law were members of a branch in Philadelphia for young black conservatives.
Wow.
And there was like 400 people there.
Yeah.
In that branch.
Yeah.
That he was, and he was like, I'm not your boss. I'm not this. This is for you guys
Right.
to take this and grow this thing. Now he wasn't running around telling everybody that, but he's like, I'm not telling you what I suspect. I'm telling you what I know.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and he didn't run around saying, "Look at me, I'm doing this." And so he did a beautiful eulogy about what he was doing behind the scenes. I think that's what people are missing, because you're watching what sells people visually, which is the contentious back and forth, and he said this, and but there was a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes where he was transforming people's lives by saying, "Hey, listen, here's a path to success, and I'm going to explain why." I think that's what a lot of people miss, because unfortunately we live in a time where that's what sells, the back and forth, and I'm going to, like some old guys up there, I want to step out here, I want to fight you.
Right.
That's what.
Well, because also when you think about the Charlie Kirk came up like right after and kind of during the Steven Crowder, Change My Mind, the Ben Shapiro, the
Yes.
Milo Yiannopoulos,
Yes.
that whole era of like Ben Shapiro owns leftists on, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Destroys, and
Yeah.
those clips would go viral. So people associate him with that ilk,
Yeah.
with the Ben Shapiros, the Milo
The
Yiannopoulos,
combative,
those
Crowder.
yeah, Crowder,
Yeah.
and even though he was doing something different, but I saw a meme that kind of like broke my heart a little bit, but I know it's not reality. Where because I don't know if you saw like the banner over the tent always says "Prove me wrong," like he's giving you an opportunity, come up, prove me wrong, and someone said like Charlie didn't factor in that the left's version of proving you wrong is just stopping you from talking. Like they don't even want to have the conversation.
Yeah, that's why they say stuff like your words are genocide.
Yeah, because then it justifies retaliation
Yeah.
through violence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what
Stopping you from talking.
Yeah, they're literally taking it to another level, because that's what pride does. It takes it to another level. Like, you got to think a way out of this.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy to a regular person, but it's not to them because you've processed through all this stuff, to get to where you are, to hold on to what you believe or what you...
And that's why you see people, trying to come up with these versions of him that justify what happened. That's why you see the news media and Democrats trying to, do these mental gymnastics to turn it into... it's actually the right that's the problem, like the left is not violent, it's the right that's violent, and the left, the media. That one guy got fired right away because he was saying basically Charlie brought this on himself because of his rhetoric, and it's just people that aren't falling for this anymore. You can look online and see who's celebrating. That tells you who wanted him dead.
You know who's falling for this?
Who?
Everyone who is holding on to some type of victimhood.
Yes.
That's who's falling for this. If you're holding on to it, you're asleep. And how you're asleep is you're blinded by pride because you want to hold on to the thing that you think somebody is doing to you. Mm-hmm. Like it's even like when you might, there's people who are very, very deep in sleep. There's people who hear something and they wake up and then somebody says, no, just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
Right.
Right. And then there's people who are waking up and looking around and like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And there's people who are watching. There's
Yeah.
people who are awake, and it's sad, but you have to watch for those who don't want to wake up. Mm-hmm. And you have to love those who are your enemies.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most important things when you look at like Luke 6 and it goes through all that stuff, right? To be sons of the Most High, it's not enough that you love the people who love you. You have to love those who don't love you.
Yeah.
You have to give to those who are in need, even though they probably will throw it in your face. Right.
Mm-hmm. It's easy to give to your brothers and sisters and those that love you.
Yeah. So
shout out to Mike City. He said, "What's up, fellas?"
What's up, Mike? So for us, like, it's not about rage. Yeah, there's anger. Yeah, there's righteous anger. Like, there's righteous anger with this.
There's fear that
No. I'm saying on God's side, like on people. You can have anger, but you can't sin. Be angry, don't sin.
Right.
Ephesians 4.
Right.
Like you have to be able to hold that anger and know how to process it. Right. You have to know how to deal with these things. Man, I cried for like 3 days. I'm not. Like I kept every time I saw, and it wasn't all like sad. Some of it was, but some of it was just like, just seeing how many people.
It's joyful tears. Right?
Were waking up. How many people were like?
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Were on fire. How many people?
How many people woke up out of the rage and the joy people were expressing on the team that they felt were in the right?
Yeah, they had the moral high ground. They woke up from that spell,
and they were like, "Wait a minute, we're celebrating this."
Yeah.
And so, yes, this is a tragic end of a life, right? But what this man stood for and what they thought optically was going to be a victory has been turned into something good, which is this. The hearts, because of their wickedness, people saw their hearts and their intention.
Yeah.
And that turned a lot of people, because I saw tons of video. Because what I was doing was this. While people were rage baiting, and I have people that I'm friends with via Facebook, not personal friends, but friends that was celebrating this, watching them. Now, I personally know their life.
Yeah.
I'm not glorying in this. I'm just saying I know why. There's a reason why you would sink to that level of low, like he said, pride,
victimhood, and pride.
And your victory is small, short lived, because you can't have. You're limited in your ability to not have a conversation to debunk certain things if you feel that way, that your victory is death. And out of that, a lot of people saw the behavior, the vitriol, the venom being spewed to what F his kids, F them,
Right.
and woke up and said, hey, wait a minute here.
Right.
I can't jump on. So they may be feeling good because they feel like it's their comeuppance, right? But they unintentionally, that behavior led to people opening up and being like, whoa, this has gone too far. Watching all the professionals, not even Facebook, I'm talking about professional doctors, surgeons, lawyers, attorneys, people in high positions
Professors, yeah.
Teachers.
celebrating this and watching, because a lot of them were outed by their coworkers. People who initially at that time when they reported, they got suspended,
Yeah.
only to turn around and investigate it.
Yeah.
And the backlash from the public calling in to be like, whoa, you fired the wrong person, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And them be reinstated and the person who was celebrating got fired.
Yeah.
See, you can't. Sometimes you can't think and be like, you know what? I don't say nothing. Sometimes you're just gonna have to move.
That's another thing that we're seeing, another phenomenon. I'm calling it the Charlie Kirk effect. Like all of this, these churches being full. We're going to show videos of that. But another phenomenon is more and more people finding out who is secretly Trump supporters. They were afraid to say it before, but this moment, because they were like, no, I have to say something now. And they've kind of like outed themselves to their friends.
Yep.
People people are cutting them off now. And they are able to point out like, wait a minute, but I didn't agree with you this entire time. And I wanted to still be your friend. You just didn't know that we didn't agree.
Yeah.
And you see me as an enemy now. I never saw you as an enemy, even though we didn't agree. And it's showing the vitriol on one side, that the mentality of like, if
Right.
you don't think exactly like me, then I hate you.
And I've thought about this during my time working. Talking with my boss. I was like, I'm not even mad at them because I understand
Yeah.
the fall and the fallen state of the mind. Because when the thing about it, once you open that door, right, you are no longer in control. They think they're in control,
Right.
but listen, you're captivated by the enemy, and he will twist your mind. And these victories seem important to you, but you are under a spell. You're under a control. And watching it, I realized that's what people were waking up of, because there were a lot of people who I won't say ashamed. I don't know them to make that proclamation. I'm just saying this because our fear of feeling like, well, I feel this way and I'm gonna vote this way. I'm a conservative, but I won't tell anybody because I don't want to upset my friend circle.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset the people at work.
Right.
Like you said, finally, it took something this tragic to be like, wait a minute now. So I feel like this man. If I said something, you would kill me?
Yeah.
Because this is how you felt death was the solution for this man's words.
And even me just saying, man, I feel sad that this happened to this guy.
Yeah.
You now see me as an
You're
enemy.
the enemy.
I was just talking to my sister, Rachel, driving here about this. And she was telling me how her coworkers were celebrating this. And she was like, I had to say something.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you, Shelly.
Yeah, I'm glad.
She's like, I couldn't believe this. She's like, I was like, why are you guys celebrating? Why is this joyful to you? And we talked about that. And she was, I'm going to call her back and, because I want to work this out with her. Because she's not deep into politics like we are.
Right.
She knows a little bit about him. But I'm so glad that she did something. I said, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. There's
Don't let people's idea and their venom scare you. You know what I'm saying?
something that I watched that kind of reminded me of Lisi. There was, a couple of students, young. They look like younger than Lisi's age. Some teacher said something, and celebrating the death, they actually went in front of like a board and read what they felt about it.
Wow.
Good.
To standing up.
We have to.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like, how you told me the story about how, her teachers just like saying whatever.
Yeah, and she was telling me about it, about even now, like her social studies teacher after this happened. He's like talking about it in class, but he's saying it in a way where he's framing it as if, you know, Charlie Kirk was this guy that, you know, said all these horrible things, you know. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
because he says you can challenge me, you can debate me on these things, but these are 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids.
Right.
Yeah.
I think part of it too, if I'm me searching within myself, I would say this. As Christians, one of the things that, well, I can only speak for me, but you know, what we get thrown in our face a lot, especially by non-believers, is what would Jesus do? Jesus is love, which those things are true. But Jesus was also passionate about his kingdom.
Yeah.
There have been other incidents where Jesus stood up. Look at the temple.
Yeah.
When they were selling and they were using the temple for their own means, right? Mm-hmm. There's been plenty of time when Jesus admonished. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are never quoted. And I think over time...
They've been quoting that as why Charlie Kirk was killed.
Right.
Like, I've been hearing pastors say that.
But what it did unintentionally is we were getting lectured to by unbelievers who wanted us to follow an archetype of what they think Jesus is. Jesus would be tolerable of everything and anything. And over the years, us being fearful of having those conversations, we kind of like quell down. Don't say anything. Now, I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it in a bad way. I remember when I came here to the United States and I started going to school. And you know, this is a modern society. Evolution is pushed. Now, in Trinidad, evolution wasn't pushed as much. It was heavily. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, your schools were mostly Catholic.
Mostly
yeah.
Catholic.
Yeah.
So we didn't encounter that, but we were also given it from that perspective. Now, when I got here, right, when in class and having this conversation, I could see the passion from the teacher. But one thing that followed it was, and anybody who doesn't believe this, they're an idiot.
They're an idiot. Yeah.
Now, when I would come home and talk to my dad about this, he would say, listen, don't have respect. Don't say anything. Just go ahead and pass the class and keep it moving. Subsequently, I think a lot of Christians over the years, what we did was we learned how to live under a regime, a mindset, by being like, I don't want to say anything.
I don't want to pick this bad.
I don't want to challenge this. Yeah.
And we've quietly taught our children and learned how to, well, you never know, and don't say. Now, again, I'm not saying go yell and be disruptive in the class.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that by adopting that mindset, we slowly became very docile. And Charlie was the opposite of that.
Right.
So he has inspired people to say, okay, you can have a disagreement and an argument without cursing anybody. I never seen him curse. I never seen him lost his temper. This is a
I've
good
seen
example.
him lose his temper with Cenk.
Oh yeah, that was another false clip that people. Did you see that? People spreading that around saying he said an Asian slur in this clip.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything about
The dude, what's his name? Emmanuel Acho used to play for the Eagles, who's a commentator now for Fox.
Yeah.
He did a video on that.
saying that he used the Asian slur.
He used the Asian
People
slur, and I can't even say it because it's so vulgar.
But I knew that he was referring to Chengi.
Yes,
So
but it's just so ridiculous. Like people were posting that clip of him yelling at Cenk Uygur, saying like, "See, he's using Asian slurs openly, calling this person a CHINK," and it's like
because Cenk was what was that at?
It was at some debate. Thing.
Yeah, he was in the audience.
Cenk was in the audience
screaming stuff.
Yeah,
and he just got.
Cenk
he
loves
lost.
this.
He lost his cool.
Yeah,
there.
I know.
I felt like
so he kept saying Cenk, like trying to say stuff back to him, and they're thinking he's calling to my.
I didn't respond to it. I saw that. I didn't respond to it because I knew.
Yeah, I knew what it was.
I guess I knew.
But that just was so evident to me.
Out of context,
that people have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know anything about the Rumble. Like for you not to know
hard,
who Cenk Uygur is,
Yeah.
and you want to commentate on politics, like come on.
And I want to say this, like, I don't think everybody should have the conversations. I don't think everybody has the ability to
Yeah.
have
No,
the
definitely not.
conversations. I think that people need to press into Jesus. I think like you have to let go of your own identity. We shouldn't be all Charlie Kirks.
Yeah.
We should just know that Charlie Kirk was that because
That's
he
who God-
pressed into Jesus.
Yeah.
So everybody can be their own individual in how they do it. It doesn't have to look the same.
And he had a good gift. His gift was different.
Yeah, let me read this comment from YouTube real quick. Amber is on there. She said, I tried to talk to her. She's talking about her pastor. I tried to talk to my pastor after he was saying he didn't understand why the flags were at half mast. And he said, when you spam hatred, what do I expect? Her pastor said that.
Yeah, I think you need to get a new
Well,
pastor.
when you spew hatred. Okay. Yeah, that's...
because that's, and the only reason why I say that is because like spiritually, he's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't see the point of it and why, first of all, it's not hatred, and there goes the judgment right there. So like you're making a judgment on something, you better prove that.
Right.
You better show how it's hatred. And then the reason why hate speech is a problem is because it's hard to define what hate speech is,
Yeah.
right? So anybody can say that's hate speech because it offends me.
Did you see the clip of Pam Bondi today talking about people being prosecuted for hate speech?
No?
Oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, it was so weird. Hold on.
But so you see, like, the premise is it's hateful, right? They already made that up in their mind.
Yeah,
So before you even deal with that thing, you got to deal with that,
right.
right? With people, you have to deal with that. Hold up. You said this. Prove that. How do you come to these conclusions?
Exactly.
And a lot of these people have just heard something from somebody else, and they jump to conclusions, and that is very irresponsible.
And get emotional.
Yeah, and get emotional. But the biggest thing is, are we truly looking to see what is the truth? Right? Do we really want to know the truth? And we talked about this at church. I've talked to you about this, Jamie. One of the biggest things is I don't want to look like this. I don't want to look like the bad guy. I don't want to, I heard one guy saying, I'm a good guy, but I feel a type of way against Charlie Kirk, right? Okay, there goes the problem. Your premise is that you're a good guy.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Right.
Where do you get that from? So you got, before you even deal with the other stuff, you got to deal with that. And my point is that how do we get to these conclusions? Because we have protected ourselves,
Right.
and we don't even know it. We were talking about, like, even as babies, we are learning how to protect ourselves, right? How do we do that? We mirror our parents. When our parents aren't around, we talked about on this podcast, daycare, right? The whole daycare problem.
Yeah.
Because babies are going to daycare, and then they need their parents. They don't have their parents there to be able to mirror them, right? And you put babies in context that they don't, or into places that they don't know how to put into context, don't know how to grasp understanding of it. Where do they get that understanding? From their parents. Why? They see their faces. If you show your kid anxiety, they're gonna feel anxiety. If you show them peace, they're gonna be in peace. If you show them calm, they're gonna be in calm. When we get, oh my God, they're crying. I don't. That's what they feel, right?
You're so right. I just watched a video of a lady talking to her two daughters, and she's like, "Guys, guess what happened?" And they're like, "Donald Trump died."
I saw that video.
Yeah.
And they named off somebody else.
Elon Musk.
Elon
Musk,
Musk died. They
yeah.
kept on
The
going down the
vice,
list.
the vice president.
Right. And the guy who narrated the video, he was like, "Guys, these kids don't know this.
Yeah.
They're little. They're like, they couldn't be older than 6 or 8.
They seem
They're-
smaller than that. Like,
It's learned.
I mean, and she's just, you could tell she's not even caring that they're saying this. She's just like, no, not that. Though that would be good.
yeah, right.
I mean, you're right. That
And then she posted as something to brag
posted it.
about.
she posted it, man.
And so like even think about the kids that
sick.
you know, they're 3, 4, and they're acting like they're shooting guns.
Yeah.
Drive-bys. You saw the videos,
Yeah.
right?
Learned.
Or dancing raunchy, right? All that stuff. It's all mirrored, right? How do they learn? They mirror their parents, right? They mirror their mothers, mostly. But again, when you don't have them around, you're doing it. You don't have the context. So now you're trying to protect yourself anyway. So now you're just making up. Like, think about it. You're in a, you ever get in a place and you're like, oh man, I've never been here before. How do I put this into
Yeah.
You're literally learning how to process what's going on. You know, even if it's a good thing. Like, wow, this is, people say it's surreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to put it into context, right? And that word has been the word over and over again. People take it out of context, take it out of context, because they've been doing that.
Yeah.
They've been taking everything into their own context or the context that they've been mirrored, right?
Right.
That they've been learned to mirror. If people have been abusing you, like, think about how many kids have been abused, and then they call it whoever's abused, their abusers calling it love. That's the context they have. So they grow up with that context. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is where trauma and all these things happen. So is there something to victimhood? Yes. But if you call that your identity, that is where you will have your context perverted.
Right.
Right? So now everything you see is through that lens. You can't see it any other way.
Yeah, until you wake up from that.
If your parents are telling you that cops are racist, all cops are racist your whole life, you're going to be, and then you see these videos where people are crying about how they don't want to get in a situation where they get pulled over because they've been programmed.
And not only that, there was a big error on the internet where a lot of these channels emerged. They got a lot of clicks and made a lot of money off of highlighting stories where police were behaving horribly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? That was a whole error on the internet. It's a lot of those channels still exist.
And social media doesn't do any
Right.
better, because if you are curating your channels where all you're watching is what's going to confirm your bias
Yeah.
and your reality, your own context,
It's gonna just keep feeding you that.
it's just going to keep. And then it's strengthening you in that perversion, right? How do you break that? Jesus. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Literally, you're learning that it's something you grasp onto. It's something that's shifting you, right, into something to hold on to. What do we hold on to when we're babies? Our parents. Physically, right? What do we grab hold of and don't want to let go of? Our parents. More than anything else, we hold on to our parents. And through Jesus, he's showing us how to hold on to God. That's what's so beautiful. Why are we babes in Christ? Why are we children?
Because we're growing.
Because we're learning.
We're learning, yeah.
Because we're reprocessing everything. Because we're literally taking our old context and saying, it's not serving me, it's not helping me, and I need him. He's our image. He's our substance. He's the thing that God gave us, the Father gave us, so that we would have something to hold on to, right? To grasp, to understand. The love of Christ. So in these things, you see like that dividing line where there's people who are in pride, in their emotions, in their feelings. And these things only last for moments. They're not going to last forever. But then on the other end, you're starting to see people who are realizing something and awakening to something. and they don't know how to put it into words because it's new for them, right? And that's where the truth is. In this thing that you can't put words to, you can't grasp, but you know it's real. And so many people are finding that now. They're finding Jesus. Maybe they don't even know what it is yet exactly. But we have to continue to talk about these things. We've been talking about these things for years. But we're learning. We're learning how to do it better. You know, we're learning how to grow in the world, right?
Yeah.
And how to engage with the world in a better way. So it's a learning. Nobody's going to do it perfectly. But it's so funny how they expect everybody to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
All the people who judge, they expect you to do it perfectly.
Right.
Yeah.
The left is out there rioting,
Yeah.
killing, right?
Burning
Destroying.
stuff down. Yeah.
Who's out there doing that now?
Yeah. No one burnt down anything over Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk.
Nobody's doing that now.
They keep comparing it to the
George Floyd.
the senator that was
Oh, yeah.
that was assassinated in Minnesota. And they're like, well, we didn't. How come all of this didn't? No one cared when like y'all could have cared.
Yeah.
Y'all could have memorialized them.
Not only that, I was leftist who did it.
But what I'm just saying, like someone took out one of y'all senators
Yeah.
on the left. Y'all could have celebrated them. Y'all could have did a whole thing of flags at half staff. Joe Biden could have came on and did a speech that we can't have this. Y'all didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Why are you mad that we want to honor somebody that we cared about or that we saw as someone that didn't deserve to die?
Yeah. And it goes back to that again. Like we actually have the tolerance
Right.
where we got patience with you, but you got no patience.
None.
You're looking
None.
to find something.
Right.
But that's the thing. When you are in fear, you're always looking because you're looking to protect yourself.
Or when
Right.
you're a victim, when you have a victim mindset, you're always looking to be victimized again.
Yeah.
Like,
And the root of that is fear.
yeah. Let me play this video because James brought it up.
I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news. Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged!
Wow. That's crazy.
If that doesn't summarize the left right there, like teaching your kids,
I'm sad though.
it's sad.
I'm
Very
sad.
sad.
It's sad.
Sad because they're so innocent, you know.
Yeah. We gotta replace that wire, man.
I'm sad because I feel for those little girls.
Yeah.
They're so innocent.
Yeah. They're being taught that.
Yeah, they're parroting what their mom taught them to care about. Mm-hmm. They don't care about that.
She probably told them to say that. Let's be real. Like she pulled out the phone to film that. She told them to say that.
See, that's
Jamie sounds like me. It's staged.
I mean, I believe it. I'm just saying, I feel for them.
Because she's thinking about all of her friends in her circle that are gonna think that's hilarious. Because they all how many people celebrated? We showed it on here, or were so upset that Trump didn't get killed.
Yeah.
And then we showed the videos of when those Christian camp got washed away in Texas from the floods. How many people celebrated that? Mm-hmm. That was one of the first instances where a lot of people came online saying like, I can't deal with the left anymore. It's demonic. Mm-hmm. Because they were celebrating
little kids.
little children that died
Right.
in a flood.
Isn't it interesting that the girl who died on the train got stabbed in the neck and Charlie Kirk got
Shot in the neck. Yep.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It is.
Amber said, I know I need a new pastor. I've been trying to explain my mom that this past Sunday that it was not the Holy Spirit speaking. And that it was flesh talking. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me show this video because this is the difference, again, the comparison between like people that really stand for values that they say they believe in, and then people that just, whatever is popular at the time, I'm going to go with. So Pam Bondi is on an interview on a podcast, the Kate Miller podcast, and this is what she says.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
So she says this, right? Bunch of prominent conservative voices, Matt Walsh, Benny, all these people come out and say she needs to resign because we didn't vote for this. Like, just because something happened that we don't like doesn't mean we're okay with you locking up people for hate speech now.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we believe
not
in
what we signed
at
up
all.
for.
That's
Yeah.
not freedom of speech. That is our First Amendment right.
And Charlie wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. And even Cenk Uygur, talking about him, tweeted out saying like, wow, the right is being real consistent with this because they're holding her accountable for saying that, even though it's their side that is being targeted this time. You know what I mean? Because this is what happens on the left when they're the victim of something. They don't care about nobody's rights at that point. They're like, lock them up.
Because it's not about, it's about accountability.
It's about winning. It's not about rights.
No, I'm saying when the reason why you have to hold everybody accountable is because you're upholding something that's greater than yourself.
Yeah.
That sounds like the UK.
Yeah. Targeting people for hate speech.
Yeah.
Like coming after them.
And a lot of times, politicians and people put in high power, they're actually ethically lazy. It's easy, rather than hold up the Constitution and the laws set by the nation and the forefathers, to come up with your own way to quell things down so your regime seems virtuous than others.
And you're also thinking about what is my base gonna want from me.
Exactly.
They're gonna praise this.
They're gonna praise this. So you rather than saying no, we're gonna hold these laws are how the nation was formed. We're gonna keep those things at the core of what we do, and we will manage these things as they pop about. You go along and you come up with your own thing because you want to have a good regime.
But I think like that's the problem. You can't keep those laws because they'll be twisted if you don't keep the meaning and the intention there. And that's only spiritual. That is only God. The reason why it gets twisted is because it's spiritual.
Right.
It's a spiritual battle. So that's literally where the battle is. It's the battle for what things look like, what it actually, because that's all we're doing. We're changing the image little by little, right? When we get off. So a lot of these people, like probably Pam Bondi, because I'm just confused at why she said that. They're trying to live up to something instead of like, okay, what is the spirit behind it? And I'm not trying to, I mean like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does it mean to be a free country?
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? And in order to know what it means, you got to know where it came from.
And know the cost.
Yeah. Exactly.
You got to pay the cost.
You gotta
right?
know it. There's a cost.
Yeah. And you're not going to really know what it means.
I don't know. You tell me. It says no signal.
Well, it's fine there.
Yeah, that one's fine.
And you're not going to know what it means until you actually pay that cost.
Yeah.
So what do you got to do? You have to go out there and you have to do the thing that you are talking about, but then you got to put it in the context, right?
Yeah.
As you're doing it. And then you realize it's a lot harder than you thought it was.
Yeah. Sometimes you're going to have to listen to people say things that you don't like.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Greg.
And you're gonna have to look at yourself a lot. Do you know how many times like it's easy to come up with ideas, like just being a soccer coach, like me just dealing with kids, like if when I come up with these things, I can't just say these things to these kids. They're gonna look through me if I'm like, yeah, coach, but you're saying this, but you're not doing anything. You know, you're saying this, but then you're doing this. Like, you're telling us that we need to respect everybody, but then you're just snapping on everybody out on the field, and you're being disrespectful to the other coaches, to the
officials,
referee.
yeah.
No, you have to be consistent, you know? And it's not always easy.
Yeah.
To touch on the spirit of Charlie Kirk talking about family, I would say this. I think one thing the left has done fantastic in a, not in an impressive way, but fantastic in the way to control society, especially the left-minded person, is to take away the idea of family, husband, wife, children, because when you don't have something to care other than yourself, you can't really focus on something beyond you. It's you're living, you're essentially living day to day, or whatever you feel your existence would be is for pleasure. Is to exist. And a trip, going to Miami, Dubai, those pleasures in life is just fuel for your own self-aggrandizement, right? But when you're married and you have children, you see, I myself, I know you guys had to deal with this. When you're married and you have a wife and you have children, you're not just thinking about, well, who am I going to vote for? What's my moral compass? What's my religious stance? Is you know that the world that you want your children to inherit, their children to inherit, you have to speak up and you have to say something, because it's more than just I won. It's how do you win in terms of legacy, your family legacy? What world are your children going to inherit? And if you were a political influencer, a billionaire, if you will, trillionaire, you had money to influence society, what way would you want that to be shaped? Where people were having families, a belief system, a moral compass that they held, whether it's from a church or elders or a family unit that was strong, that they were building a better society? Or would you say, you know what? Focus on life's pleasures. Get that promotion, get that car, get that jewelry, get that shoes. It's about you. Live for those pleasures. And by the way, if anybody says no to you, they're attacking you.
Yeah.
They want to tear down.
They want to enslave you.
Yes.
It's actually the opposite, because that guy knows that
Yep.
by focusing you on yourself,
Yep.
you are a forever slave.
You are, yes, exactly. You are forever slave, and you are a willing slave.
Right.
Because even though you're trapped by this,
You feel like you're
think
winning.
you're free.
You think you're winning, yeah.
You think you're free. You think you're winning.
So my mom sent me a video earlier today that goes right along with what you're saying, that Charlie Kirk actually was saying.
Okay.
Let's pull this up, Mom.
There's a reason why the dress for the man is the same at a wedding and a funeral, because you're saying goodbye to your previous self. The woman is the icon, the symbol of beauty, almost always in all white, right? Ascendant. The man is usually in black and white, like he's attending somebody's death, because it is his death.
See, they think he's taking it in the normal way. He's dying because he's now he's getting married.
I saw this.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, but think about it. It's the death of the bachelor mindset. It's the death of promiscuity. It's the death of the wandering eye. It's the death of immoral behavior. It's the death of texting girls casually. It's the death of I get to do what I want to do. It's the death of just going to the bar with friends. It's the death of acting like an infant. It's the death of playing video games till 1 a.m. There's a
Yeah, like you were saying, you have to give up your selfish ways to be a real father and a leader of a family. You have to die. What is it?
There's no greater love you lay your life down for your friend.
And also, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. What did Christ
and gave
do?
up his that's the other, and gave up his life.
He gave up his life.
For
Right.
her. Yeah.
And you and I were talking, me and Simone. The people who are celebrating, guess what their choices are?
Yeah. Most of them, yeah.
That's why I'm not reveling in this. I'm not saying I take joy in this because I want the best for them, and I pray for them. But I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why they're struggling with this, because along the ways, their education, their title, their intellect, their degree, their manufactured status mattered more than a family, and they chose that.
But here's the beauty. Here's the beauty. Jesus died for them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't given up on them. I'm not saying I have.
No. But I'm saying, I'm just to put this into context. Jesus died for them.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk died for them.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk died for the guy who killed him.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how deep it is. People are not wishing this guy. People are praying for this guy. Right? That's there. If you can't see the beauty in that, I can't show you right now. But that's what, because did you hear what he just said? The woman, the beauty of it, but it's her heart towards the one who is dying for them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the beauty. It's in, are you willing to pay the cost?
It's powerful.
It's
And
so
let me
powerful.
add to it, if I can. One other part that they don't talk about is even though you're dying to self, there are going to be times when your wife won't submit to you.
Yeah.
And your wife won't want to take your leadership, but you still have to love her. Like Christ loved
Like
the church.
Christ
Right.
loved the
I
church.
mean, they killed him.
But that's the beauty of when you're truly under God's authority and God's love.
Yeah.
You know that whatever your wife is going through, you have to still love her through that. You can't be like, hey, my love is contingent if you do this.
Right.
Because you if you're a good man and you're a believer, you know what you died to. You know what you've surrendered. And if you're in the flesh, you're gonna be like, I surrendered this. Why haven't you surrendered? You still have to love your wife, even though she may be struggling with certain things, and help her through that.
Absolutely.
That's the difference.
Let's show some more of this Charlie Kirk effect. We were talking about how it's impacted just people's faith and Christianity in particular.
Let me read.
I'm so glad you're doing it this way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're doing it this way. Because a lot of people choose, and I'm not knocking them, but to show the venom of the left to prove a point.
Yeah.
And that's honorable.
Yeah. We want to show what the effect that this has had positively.
Right.
Go ahead, Mom.
Uncle Denny said Charlie was doing the colleges because that's where the devil is taking the children. And he was there with a bulletproof vest to fight Satan. That's what he was doing.
Right.
All right. So first thing I want to show is this tweet from Nick Sorter. He said, now, patriots across the country are reporting their churches are jam-packed this Sunday morning. This was the past Sunday. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's killing, the church was full today. Parking lot was so full, people were parking in the grass. The enemy thought he had won, but you've started a mass awakening. This is what Charlie would have wanted most, a massive revival. Church was full, not a single open seat. People posting up some pictures of their churches, full, people honoring him at church. Jake sent me this. This is a very inspiring video right here.
See what it's about.
Hold on.
So died 3 days ago, and since then I have seen a lot of content from him
3 days
that I've
ago.
never seen before, and a lot of it is him talking about his faith. And I've seen his content before, but only him debating the college kids. I've never seen anything else. I didn't even really know he's religious like that. And brother, ever since he passed away 3 days ago, every time I see a video of him talking about his faith, straight waterworks. Like I can't, it's almost hard to control. And I've had a lot of people talk to me about God personally. I've seen a lot of people talk about God online, and I've also been following this whole Charlie Kirk situation where I've seen everything that's happening. I've seen a lot of his other content, and none of it makes me emotional, except when he passed away. That was really sad, but nothing else. For some reason, whenever he's been talking about God, I am just trying to not lose control. So it's just got me feeling really weird, and I've had a few people telling me like maybe it's God trying to reach out to you, which sounds crazy to me because I've never believed in God, ever. I've always been like, that doesn't exist, it's not real. But it doesn't make sense. It's like, why would I get so, I'm not an emotional dude at all. So for me to get like uncontrollably emotional about this thing that I don't even believe in, it's like, well, why is that happening? It doesn't even make any sense to me at all. So I got a Bible. I got this little thing right here. I don't know if it's the correct version. I've heard that there's a lot of different versions of it. I've heard people say that this is better than the other. I don't know. And I've also heard that it's hard to translate it sometimes. So your boy's going to be on ChatGPT trying to figure it out and go through it. But I guess this marks day one of me trying to read the Bible and see what it's about. So Charlie Kirk died 3.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
I seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that too.
Yes.
Keep it up, Mom. Keep it up. We're going to keep going through these.
The church where Charlie went is packed. All the way down there. The traffic is everywhere. I came here this year and it's been empty, this place. Now revival is hitting. The enemy has taken someone that he didn't think that Charlie's home church was going to be packed this way. Cars lining up at Dream City Church like I've never seen. I've been here many times. There is no cars here.
Yep. Keep it going.
People showing up to worship Jesus. Spurred on by Charlie, let's sing this out together. And I've decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided.
That's your mom and dad's type of worship music right there, boy.
I parked like 5 blocks away from church. Charlie Kirk.
Mom, can you pull it back up? Keep taking it down on me.
Oh, sorry.
She's crying.
Oh.
Let her cry, Jamie.
Got a job to do.
Charlie Kirk, look what you did. No parking. No parking at all. None. Had to park like 5 blocks away from church because everyone wants to come now. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, I've been seeing so many videos like this. Hold on.
Turning Point has reportedly received 32,000 requests for new campus chapters in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Also in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, the Unite the Kingdom March happened in London. And of course, the mainstream media is predictably characterizing this as a far-right march. They are also severely downplaying the size of this crowd, sometimes calling it a tens of thousands crowd. But some estimates put the size at over 1 million people. I'll let you be the judge. But beyond all of this stuff that I'm seeing, I saw so many right-wing people that I have never seen publicly post on social media posting in support of Charlie Kirk. Also, I went to church this weekend and had to park several parking lots away from the church to even find one spot. That has never happened any time I've gone to that church. On top of all of this, I'm a gay Republican and I know a lot of gay Republicans who are not public about their politics, but this weekend they were. A political and spiritual awakening is underway, and I don't think the people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death realize what a righteous passion they have ignited amongst so many people. Turning Point has reportedly received 30...
This is a clip of, and she's getting a backlash for this. Jamie Lee Curtis breaking down in tears, talking about Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Crist was killed 2 days ago.
Kirk, yeah, Charlie.
I'm sorry.
Kirk. Right?
Kirk. I just call him Christ. I think because of Christ, because of his deep belief. I mean, I disagreed with him on almost every point I ever heard him say.
Yeah.
But I believe he was a man of faith. And I hope in that moment when he died that he felt connected to his faith, even though I find what he his ideas were abhorrent to me.
Yeah.
I still believe he's a father and a husband and a man of faith, and I hope whatever connection to God means that he felt it. Yesterday was 9/11. I know there is video of his assassination. I know people who've seen it. Yesterday, we watched again these images of those buildings coming down. We as a society are bombarded with imagery. So we don't know what the longitudinal effects of seeing those towers come down over and over and over and over again, or watching his execution over and over and over again. We watched the Zapruder film, by the way, my birthday, November 22nd.
Desensitized.
Yeah, but you see, like, she doesn't even agree with him, but it still affected her in some way. Like, she still feels something, like, deeply about it.
That video was violent, man.
Yeah.
That was a violent video.
Yep.
Do you
It
guys
is.
know his name? Like what it means?
Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
No.
Charles means free man. Kirk is church.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
So even that, like, there's so many things with this that.
Yeah.
And I always look at names. So I looked it up right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, Freeman Church.
Look at this video from all the way in South Korea. Like,
it's crazy.
South Korea, bro, coming out to support.
It's a big Christian community.
This is a big, massive crowd in San Diego giving their life to Jesus.
I believe there's at least 3 more people. You need to get right with God tonight.
Out in the streets. Wow. Out in the streets over the weekend. I wanted to show this. Well, I'll show the people that paid tribute. There was a lot of sports teams. They actually honored him during the games.
Yeah.
I think this was the Cowboys.
That's MetLife. Is it? No, this is MetLife.
I think this was Cowboys.
I know Yankees did it. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
There was a few.
Oh no, this one is the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think that was the Yankees.
Yeah, that might have been the Yankees. Yeah, it's Cowboys because they got that big thing in the middle. Even this one surprised me.
Okay, so with that in mind, for the final time, for a few years in London, this goes on hands like this, and send love anywhere you want to send it in the world. And there are so many places that might need it today. So here it comes from London. You can send this to your brother or your sister. You can send it to the families of people who've been going through terrible stuff. You can send it to Charlie Kirk's family. You can send it to Paul's family. You can send it to people you disagree with, but you send them love anyway. You can send it to peaceful people in the Middle East, in Ukraine, in Russia, in Azerbaijan, in Sudan.
I just didn't expect him to mention Charlie Kirk in there. Yeah, but I wanted to show this because this is more of the lighter side and how he kind of took the punches that were given him. I don't know if you guys remember that South Park parried him in one of their latest episodes, and this is him reacting to it.
Okay, everybody, the South Park episode just dropped, and honestly, it is hilarious. I mean, part of it is kind of like whatever, typical humor, but it was hilarious. Just watch this little snippet of our Prove Me Wrongs, our viral cultural domination on prime time on Comedy Central. So important, so impactful that South Park is highlighting. Watch it.
I'm sick of people stealing my stick. If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings.
Not only that, but Jeremiah 1:5, I made you in the womb. South Park gets this right. In fact, I think they've been watching a lot of Charlie Kirk videos. Watch.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief, it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception. So yes, Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. But it's just morality that demands we protect the most vulnerable.
And we got our own award show as part of South Park. I was told going in, Charlie, if they say your name, that's a big win. Well, apparently there's the Charlie Kirk Awards.
For young master debaters.
More and more young people today are learning to fight for America through masturbation. We're here to honor the recent efforts of a brave young man who has been furiously masturbating for the past several days.
Now, there's going to be a lot said about this, but we need to have a good spirit about being made fun of. This is all a success. This is all a win. We as conservatives, we have thick skin, not thin skin. And you can make fun of us. It doesn't matter. And until next time, I hope all of you also become master debaters for truth.
You guys realize he was 6'5"?
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
He's a tall guy, man.
Tall dude.
I was like, dang, this dude was a giant, man.
Yeah, but I thought his reaction to them parody, he actually changed his profile picture to the South Park cartoon.
It's a lot different than that clip you sent with Dame Dash and.
Oh yeah. Like
Charlie.
that.
That was just.
I just sent that because like it such childish
on both sides.
Yeah, like it's just.
I didn't even
like
watch it.
It's like children that cannot have a conversation, and they're talking about dumb nonsense.
Yeah,
like, and there's other clips where it devolves even.
But
worse.
it's just like no point. It's not even a point.
Yeah,
I don't even tune in.
Yeah,
to you. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Don't get distracted by that stuff.
Yeah, like that stuff is pointless conversation. They're talking about who has more money, whose clothes are dirty. Like it's just
really
yes.
What do you 10?
It was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I'm
it
not-
was like
I'm
it
not
was
even
like
gonna watch
watching people trying to like kids trying to crack on each other in school.
But these are 50-year-old men.
Yeah,
who apparently never grew out of that. So I gotta show the angle of the pastors, some of the pastors online that are just openly, I don't know what's going on. This is linked up with what Amber was talking about, but of course we gotta show Jamal Bryant.
I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie Chris and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common.
And look at that's right.
Strange, Jamal Bryant. You believe that the only thing that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk had in common is that they were both killed by white men? How about the most obvious fact that they were both Christians? How about that? They were both wrongfully killed. They both died for what they believed in. They were both husbands. And they were both fathers. They both fought for freedom and for liberty. They both believed.
Okay, we get it. I just wanted to show what Jamal.
To be
Bryant
honest with you, if you look at what has come out about Martin Luther King, Charlie Kirk is actually way better,
right?
In terms of somebody
living
you
what
look
he
to.
preached.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the criticisms of him is that he criticized Martin Luther King. He criticized his example as a man.
I mean, he beat women. He cheated on his wife.
Didn't he have a gay man write his speeches?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and he was a communist.
Yeah. All right, here goes another preacher telling them like it
I know
is.
that we all got caught up on one death.
But I want to be clear that, that Kirk was not the only one that died last week. His black body's being killed all across the country every week. And we ain't making it a major news story. I think we need to be careful that we don't think just because white on white crime happened that it's more important than when other crimes happen as well. Okay, I'm just saying. And let's keep going. Last week in Denver was the 47th school shooting this year. And we got to be careful that we don't lose our song and get so comfortable with the hell that's raging in our streets. We still got to be conscious that there's some things happening in this world that are trying to rob us of our song. I really despise the way that Kirk was killed last week. I despise the way he was killed. Shouldn't have gone down like that. But political violence ain't nothing new to this nation. Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. They killed our ancestors over political violence. That was political violence right there. Knees on necks, that's political violence right there. Shooting you down for having some Skittles and a drink, that's political violence right there. Let's be clear, this ain't new. This ain't new. And I want to be just as concerned about Kirk, and be just as concerned about Trayvon as they were about Kirk, and just as concerned about my brother that just got shot last night as they were about the brother that got shot a couple days ago. And while I'm on that, can I go a little farther? You and I need to be very careful. All of us need to be careful of the public positions that we take. Be very careful. Mr. Kirk said for years that sometimes there in schools there has to be some live sacrifice to protect the Second Amendment.
Lie number one.
I'm not making it up. Some lives have to be taken.
You are making
to
it up.
protect the Second Amendment. Got to be careful of the positions you take.
Oh, you're not making it up. You're reading it off someone else's
Just come
post.
back and take you.
You heard him.
I'm not applauding his death. That boy should not have died. His children got to be raised.
The position you take might come back and take you. Yeah, he goes on.
I mean, this is sadly the rhetoric of a lot of the black church.
Oh, listen, I got another one for you.
You're not careful, man.
But I'm saying, like, just the little slyness of how they speak.
Mm-hmm.
Might come back and take you.
Right.
Come on.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half-staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life.
Crazy thing is, most of these people had no idea who Melissa Hortman was. They only know about her now because they're using it as a talking point.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew who that was.
I didn't even hear about it until this.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, you just say these things. He didn't care about your own life. You sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, too, you have to understand that a lot of them are tied in so deep with the left that they would have never had a debate or back and forth with Charlie. They are part of the same, they may be in charge of a church, but they're part of the same venom that lady was talking to her children. They're part of that.
Yeah.
Because they have been indoctrinated and infected with anybody that says anything that they feel is against their party ideals, they view them as the enemy. They want them destroyed.
Well, for them, like him and Jamal Bryant, like, they're worse because
they're supposed to be men of God.
What they're doing is they're keeping a whole people group that are supposed to be Christian under bondage.
Yeah.
To a culture, not to Christ.
Yeah.
But to a culture.
Oh yeah.
So it's a whole.
Yeah, no, I disagree.
It's a false image.
Yeah.
And and they're giving them, and this is why you always hear like the same things over and over again. Your season is coming. All this crap that they say over and over again, just to keep people there, where they're in and under that covering.
And that's why those churches are filled with women.
Yeah.
And they're getting rich off of that. So they're gonna tell them what they want to hear.
Yes, and a lot of those women are very emotionally drawn into the racist conversations, and they're still upset about Kamala losing. So it's easy to demonize someone like Charlie Kirk, because, like I said, he helped Trump.
Well, yeah, that's my point with, they are keeping them weak.
Yeah,
spiritually. They're
Yeah.
keeping them weak. They're not strengthening them in Christ. They're not giving them words of courage to give them boldness.
Do you think they really want to do that?
Of course not.
No.
Yeah, it's
Because
just like
then they lose their power.
Patient. You need a permanent patient.
Exactly.
You got built in.
They need the
It's
money.
just like these cities need the crime so they can continue to get funded.
Yeah.
So you truly don't. You
truly don't care.
You're not living for
No.
Christ.
No, these guys are grifters,
They
man.
don't.
These
And they're
guys
part
are
of the
grifters.
boule, man.
They
They're
probably
part of-
don't even believe
They're part of the
in
sorority
God.
class, the Divine Nine. If you look up any of them, that's what they
They
belong
might
to.
believe in a version of God,
Yeah.
I
So-
believe
A
this
green
is
God.
a dividing. God is. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
Kept saying to Jake before, God is drawing a line.
Yeah.
A dividing line.
There's a line in the sand being drawn. I want to show this guy debunking. I got a couple videos real quick with them debunking some of these things, these talking points, especially that these black pastors were talking about.
Is this the guy you're calling a racist?
One thing that white people and black people have different biologically.
Don't change the question of this. Like DNA-wise, we are different.
No, we're not. That's a lie. It has been disproven. Front page of National Geographic 6 months ago. Racism created by society. Race is a social construct that I want to break out of.
Hold up. He doesn't even believe in race. The Oxford English Dictionary defines racism as prejudice based on race, or the belief that some races are inherently superior. But if Charlie's a racist, why is he arguing race doesn't exist? If he's a white supremacist, doesn't he need race to be real? I mean, you can't be a racial supremacist while arguing racial categories.
I mean, it's obvious.
It's so simple.
If you are a white supremacist, you believe that white DNA is superior and black DNA is inferior.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe in the Bible. You would be touting evolution.
Exactly.
Well, you could believe in the Bible because they just twist it.
Right.
I mean,
The KKK used to do that.
I mean, black Hebrew Israelites are
Yes.
racist.
Yes. All right. Well, let's keep going because he's got
And
more.
wait a sec. Race has been used to justify oppressing black people for centuries. So why is the black kid defending racial categories while the white supremacist wants to destroy them? This isn't new for Charlie. He's been saying this for years. And guess what? He's right. Here's the history of race. People always noticed skin color, but it mattered about as much as hair color. Slavery existed everywhere and was practiced by every skin color long before race was invented. Then, European colonizers needed justification for enslaving Africans. So, in the 1600s and 1700s, they invented racial hierarchy. The most influential framework came from Johann Blumenbach, a German doctor. He created the racial categories we still use today. Then, Georges Cuvier took Blumenbach's categories and ranked them, with white on top and black on the bottom. And racists ran with it. But here's the twist. Blumenbach never intended to create racial hierarchy. He was just trying to organize observable human characteristics, kind of like classifying plants. He believed we all have identical intellectual potential. He said differences came from environment and education, not biology, and those differences could evaporate over time. He was a devout Christian who believed we were all made equal. Sound familiar? Charlie Kirk consistently argued against racial categories and got called a racist. Yes, Charlie talked about race sometimes. He knew it was made up, but we live in a racialized culture. To change a culture, you must speak its language, especially when that culture keeps race alive through affirmative action and DEI. But most people never heard him in a long-form interview.
Again, I hate this racialization stuff, but
I
it's
do
true.
too.
They force the racialization card. For the record, I don't look at people in terms of skin color, but when they start categorizing me and the young men that show up to my events as toxic because they breathe, you force the race card.
I used to think Charlie was just confrontational with college kids for clicks. Then I listened to his full interviews. I realized he was fighting for hearts and minds in the battleground of ideas, and he was winning. That's why he was killed. And the tragic irony, Charlie believed in race less than many of the people calling him racist. We think we know someone from 60-second clips. We mix news with entertainment and call ourselves informed. We judge strangers from echo chambers, and that's part of the tragedy. Not just that we lost Charlie, that people can't tell the difference between hate speech and speech they hate.
That was really good.
Yeah. I got another one too.
He's good.
Yeah, he always does good videos. This guy does good videos too. He has a
Yeah.
breakdown too.
Okay, so I've had a whole lot of white folks commenting on my last video asking for proof that Charlie Kirk was an outspoken racist. And there are many horrible quotes to choose from, but there's one that I haven't seen get quite as much attention that I believe is head and shoulders worse than all the rest. In December of 2023, Kirk said, quote, "We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s," end quote.
See how he said end quote? Charlie Kirk has explained his reasoning behind this multiple times. And these people have to leave out the context in order to paint the picture they want to paint. Listen to Charlie Kirk talking about this.
You said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the parts of the Civil Rights Act were great, but the way it's now being implemented to force men in female bathrooms to push forward of the trans agenda, the intent of the Civil Rights Act is way beyond what it was originally authored for.
But the intent specifically originally was to
Well, that's interesting. So the intent and the law are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that.
Did we see what he just said?
Are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that.
So he said he's totally in agreement with that. He also said it was noble. Let's actually look at the definition of noble real quick. Number 2 is the definition that applies. Having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. So he's saying the Civil Rights Act had high moral principles. It was noble. It was good. He says he's in agreement with the intent. So no, he doesn't want black people being denied at water fountains. He does not think we shouldn't have rights in this country. Now let's let him continue.
That's not what the law only did. It created a massive anti-racist DEI army that then gave us affirmative action. For example, recently Merrick Garland sued using the Civil Rights Act, saying that we cannot have voter ID in certain states because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So basically what the Civil Rights Act did is that it went beyond disparate impact and then went to disparate effect. In the sense where if black Americans are not doing as well as white Americans in a certain category, you can now use the Civil Rights Act and say that's a violation of the Civil Rights Act, even though there might be other contributing factors. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's too broad, too wide, and it's now doing a lot of damage to the country. It's being used well beyond its original intent.
So he said it's being used well beyond its original intent. So to make it very simple, he thinks the intent behind the act was good. He 100% thinks that black people should not be discriminated against due to their skin color. So he says the bill should be more concise and it should not be used in all these different broad ways that it's being used. All these people consistently take him out of context and they make sure to leave him out of context. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I...
Yeah, so there you go.
Context is key.
Context is key. I mean, and he's right. They are using it for trans issues, for the Civil Rights Act, for LGBTQ issues. Here's another video of the racist, and someone put, "But he racist though."
Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. You know, for daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance. And so you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family. That is the number one priority.
Yeah.
If we have all these facts, if we know how things are how they work, if we know that it's facts that even on the left, Obama spewed about kids that grow up without their fathers and how bad that is for them statistically. if we have all these things, then why aren't we doing anything social with these social government programs? Why
Yeah.
aren't we doing anything? Why aren't we changing them?
Well, they're trying to now, and you see how it's being framed. You
Right.
know, people are losing their health care. People are losing their
But
assistance.
why for so long did it not change when they knew the problem? There's something else going on.
Yeah.
There's something else. They're feeding you something. They're going to give you something, but there's a payoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make you weak.
Yep.
And that's what's been happening. It's been making a lot of the black culture weak.
Just like you were talking about with those pastors, instead of trying to build them up.
Yeah.
I got one more to show the evidence. This goes to what you were talking about with the organizations that Charlie has worked with that he didn't take credit for.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Back in 2019, Charlie Kirk helped a lot of young blacks get to the White House. He changed a lot of their lives. A lot of them never imagined going to the White House, and Charlie helped hundreds of young black boys and girls go to the White House. Charlie, thank you for that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, man.
So for people who want to call Charlie a racist, kiss my black ass. Excuse my language. Charlie Kirk is not a racist.
I love this guy. I'll tell you. And, by the way, I have some New York Times reporters for you to talk to.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to tune them out because,
They're Uncle Tom.
they're Uncle Tom's.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm glad you said that because you could show that's such a mischaracterization of Uncle Tom.
They don't know the book.
Uncle Tom
Yeah.
was the good guy.
Yeah.
It's the Sambo
Yeah,
that was
Sambo.
bad. They can't even get the quote right. But no, I think it's listen, when you have indoctrinated yourself and you've consumed yourself with hate and vengeance. Actually, it's more vengeance, but that's part of it too. You don't care. They're not looking for these clips. They don't want to. They heard something, they're offended by it, and they want to hold on to it. That's what like I said, it is tough, but we have to pray for them to help them come out of this. Because they're trapped.
Yeah.
These people are trapped. They're burdened by their desires.
What has been? I
What has been?
thought of that too.
You can't even use that word.
I am half
burdened.
black and half Indian. She's my sister.
Shout out to our boy Eric Croft. He's watching right now. He said, "Good evening, gentlemen.
What's up,
Hope all
Eric?
is well."
What's up, Eric?
Yeah, man, that's funny. I thought of the same thing. You can't even say that anymore. You're burdened by
Unburdened by what has been.
What is the rest of that statement?
I don't know.
I can't.
Nonsensical gibberish.
Yeah.
I know that every time she said it, she looked lost saying it.
Yeah.
No, she thought she was doing something. That's the whole thing. All her quotes, she thought she was nailing it.
Yeah.
Those speech writers were back there like.
All right, so I do want to touch on something before we wrap up, because we didn't want to highlight a lot of the negativity, but I do want to touch on something that I kind of like got put onto from doing a little bit of research into who the shooter was, the shooter's partner. Now we're finding out information. Then they were talking about the Discord chat and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys have been following any of that stuff. Kash Patel did he was in front of Congress today. They in front of the Senate. They did a hearing with him, and they were questioning him.
I saw Cory Booker.
You saw the Cory Booker clip? Oh my gosh, such a grandstander.
Right.
Jamie.
Yes.
It says here, feedback detected. Wirecast has detected feedback and has turned off the computer audio output.
Uh-oh. Detective
Any
feedback.
live
There's no
streaming
feedback.
Output is unaffected. You can turn back on the computer audio output by selecting final mix.
Okay.
and layout.
Let me know if you guys are watching. Can you still hear us? Do you still see audio going out, Mom? Do you see?
I don't see the stream green light on the stream.
Huh?
Oh, it just came back on when I clicked off that message.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it's good.
Okay.
Looks like it's good. All right. So, you swing that back around. Yes. Point it back at them. I didn't know I moved it. Yes. Swing it back all the way. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I was doing a little bit of research, and it led me down a little bit of a rabbit hole, man, that I want to kind of just touch on a little bit because I think it's important for understanding where we are in the modern day with social media, with these Discord chats, with a lot of there's this whole. I'll play some stuff and we'll get into it. This was part of the hearing today. They asked Kash Patel about this.
Sure. Our operations against NVEs, as you're referring to, has been historically high, and we've taken down multiple NVE rings, including 764 rings, who are harming children and causing them to be mutilated and
Last
commit
question.
suicide.
Can you explain why you are...
So you hear him talking about NVEs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me start with the beginning of this. I don't know why I didn't play.
Sorry. Which story?
764 group, the Baltimore agents were investigating.
The 764 group, okay? And then he talked about violent NVEs. NVEs are an acronym for nihilistic violent extremists. It's this new phenomenon. Well, not new, but it's like been gaining ground online. It's these groups that are very much into Satanism. They're like little cults that pop up, but they, exactly like their name says, they're nihilists, and they believe in violence, and they commit terrorist acts. And they were asking about that because Kash Patel has been investigating a lot of these groups, and they actually mentioned it in the hearing today when he was asked by, I forget who this is, but he was asked about the Discord groups that they found out about that he was talking in. I'll play that a little
Closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is sort of legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Okay, very good. I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that. We're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
And you're running all of that together?
Every single one.
So more than 20 people in this Discord server that he was communicating with even after all of this happened. And they're finding out that a lot of this extremism is being cultivated in these servers. And this goes back to like 2019, 2020, even linking to a lot of the other, like the Buffalo shooting. Remember when that guy drove to Buffalo and just mass murdered all those black people? Mm-hmm. A lot of that is linked to the same type of thing. And then I think the Christchurch shooters. And remember, a lot of those people were what? Transgender, LGBT aligned. This guy had a transgender.
I think the last 5 mass shooters.
And all of these people are coming from this, are linked to these groups. And people
With
have...
That list you were... Stan sent that?
Nah, I don't know. Maybe. So there's a report now. The FBI has not ruled out that others may have helped radicalize Charlie Kirk's alleged killer. Agents are combining through chat logs and dark web activity and the suspect's affiliations, because there was people online, transgender people, that were saying, "Oh, Charlie Kirk is coming to our town. Something big is going to happen." Like they were saying it beforehand. Like they had prior knowledge to this. And so now they're investigating that, and that's why I played those press conferences, because he actually confirmed that they're investigating that. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this viral video we played it on the podcast. It was just like or I think we sent it to each other, a weird video that made no sense. It went viral back in the day. Do you guys remember this? I'm going to play it.
Blow my brains out.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember this?
I remember.
Shoot me, I guarantee you'll go to jail for life.
Now, I'm not gonna play the whole video because he ends up shooting the kid, but he just hits his ear, and then there's blood on the ground, and then the guy ends up getting arrested. And this video went viral because people were making fun of it, like, wow, this is the most dysfunctional family either. That turned out to be his stepfather, blah, blah, blah. And they were just laughing at the fact that this woman walks in the room with her pants down. This seems like a very just crazy family, right? Mm-hmm. So, come to find out that later on, this guy, the guy that ended up getting shot, he was a part of one of these satanic cults and ended up getting arrested years later for kidnapping an underage girl and having all of this child pee on his computer and on his phone, and like heavily linked to this satanic cult online. And this video going viral is kind of what opened the rabbit hole to the public, where people started finding out who this guy was, and then the internet starts investigating all this stuff. So that takes me to what I discovered about like this cult, which stems from, like, in the 1970s, there was this cult that emerged called the Order of the Nine Angles. Have you guys ever heard of this? It's a satanic, like, accelerist occult, esoteric accelerationists occult. It's this phenomenon where people believe, again, nihilist beliefs, that they believe that they have to bring about the destruction of the world through chaos and through, like, just committing these extreme acts, where whether it has to do with just like mass murders, whether it has to do with child stuff, just human sacrifice, animal sacrifice. It's a satanic cult. But they believe that they're going to usher in these dark gods that will then rule over the planet, and then they will be their soldiers. As you know, the more you can do to create this chaos to usher them in, you will have a higher ranking status. They actually call it sainthood that you get. And this order, it started in the 1970s, but then it was in the UK, and then it ended up like spreading throughout Europe, and then ended up getting hijacked by more extremist and Satanist cults, and then kind of reemerged online through these dark web chat servers on Discord. So I'm gonna play this video because you heard the chairman talk about the 764 group, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the group that kind of like emerged in the United States that is connected to all of this accelerationist, nihilist, violent extremist groups, satanic, ritualistic cult. So let me just play a little bit of this and we can discuss it.
Kind of. Things have gotten a little bit hot over the past few weeks, and it's come to my attention that there are some really bad people out there who really don't like me. And it would be a shame if something happened to me before I could tell my story about how I stumbled onto a very real satanic pedophile cult known as 764. But first, if you haven't already watched my Where is Jade Parker video, that's a really good place to start. In fact, you need to start there. I made that video back in January as I was wrapping up my investigation into the accelerationist forces that I believed may be provoking mass shootings in specific online communities. To give you a super short TLDR of the Where is Jade video, it explains how I was researching the true cause behind mass shootings when I stumbled upon a major rabbit hole, leading me to a number of online extremist communities that had been infiltrated by a rising terror threat known as accelerationism. And before you start typing angry comments at me, no, we aren't talking about the e-acceleration tech bro stuff. The type of acceleration we're talking about here is a form of violent extremism that works to pit the people of America and their respective political ideologies against each other in an attempt to spread chaos and accelerate societal collapse. Of course, this tactic of division, which is reminiscent of the Operation Gladio era strategy of tension, is already widely used by far greater threats than fringe accelerationist domestic terror cells. But these domestic terror cells have been growing bigger and stronger and getting better at what they do. So, in my opinion, they're worth more than just a fleeting mention in an occasional news story. Jade Parker was a counterterrorism researcher who formerly worked in military intelligence. After doing a lot of research and blowing the whistle on the emerging accelerationist terror threat and trying desperately to get her higher-ups to pay attention to it, she was smeared and ousted from her field by gatekeeping colleagues. She took to Twitter to air her grievances, and she shared a document she called her Dead Man Switch, and she claimed to have used her research to determine the identity of the person who planted the bomb on Capitol Hill on January 5th, the day before the January 6th Capitol riot. Then shortly after that, Jade went dark. Short side note to let y'all know that Jade Parker is alive. I won't go into too many details, but just so you know, she is alive, she's in hiding, and she has a really good reason for wanting to stay that way. One of the accelerationist groups that Jade worked to expose is an obscure satanic neo-Nazi cult called the Order of Nine Angles. And in this video, I'm going to break down that cult's relationship to the satanic pedophilia network 764. Back in January of 2024, the world had become aware of Kyle Spitz after a viral video began circulating on the platform formerly known as Twitter, which I still call Twitter out of sheer stubbornness. In the video, Kyle lay on his bed, a laptop in his lap, when an unkempt middle-aged man lunged into the...
We went through this. We saw this.
It suddenly made sense. It was a perfect link. There was a lot going on. Kyle's provocation of a deranged gunman leading him to get grazed in the ear by a bullet, the mother with her pants down at her ankles, the all too perfect freeze frame of the bullet leaving the barrel, and the blood drops on the floor. But most importantly, the group of influencers who shared it on Twitter and their followers had no shortage of funny comments and memes to make about the situation. Law and Crime Sidebar host Jesse Weber was quick to secure an interview with Kyle Spitz, where he revealed that the shooter was his stepdad, 68-year-old Jeffrey Scott West. After the video ended, the Blount County SWAT team was deployed and a standoff ensued, ultimately ending when West committed suicide inside the house.
We are joined right now on...
All right, let's move on past this.
Using increasingly their parents' medicine cabinets. These predators find their child victims in places most parents believe are safe online spaces for kids. They lure them from gaming platforms like Minecraft and Roblox and messaging platforms like Discord. They even utilize social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram, utilizing hashtags adopted by niche communities dedicated to self-harm and eating disorders. These communities serve as rich victim pools where predators hunt for kids that are already vulnerable in order to further exploit them. 764 is
another group that they target is young transgenders and like LGBT furry kids and stuff like that that are already dealing with psychological issues, feeling isolated, things like that.
Only one such group in a sprawling network of interrelated communities known as COM. When placed on a mind map, COM looks more like an octopus than an organized network of splinter cells, with tentacles that encompass a wide range of cybercriminal activity. There's Hacking COM, full of script kiddies willing to dox, SWAT, and commit other cybercrimes for money. They may, for example, call in a bomb threat to a school for a disgruntled student who was able to pay them. There's also an animal abuse side of COM. And then there's Extortion COM, which relies on the hackers and overlaps with 764, whose members hack and extort their victims in order to fulfill their motives. COM also has significant overlap with domestic terror cells. These individuals congregate on Terrorgram, the network of Telegram channels comprised of violent extremists that range from white nationalists to satanic neo-Nazis. A recent Wired article analyzed more than 3 million messages from 50 chat groups in the COM network, revealing thousands of users in nearly a dozen countries involved in various COM subgroups. They note that such groups have been growing rapidly since their widespread emergence in 2022, when only a handful of cases had been analyzed by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We were all too aware of this group, even before the FBI released their September 2023 bulletin warning parents about the network known as 764. We had stumbled across some of these communities. A Discord server full of gaping wounds, disemboweled animals, and satanic sigils crudely drawn in blood were all telltale signs of 764 influence. And even before the FBI acknowledged the group, there had been arrests, the most public being that of Angel Almeida of New York. Almeida, who went by the nickname Duck, was arrested in connection with a gun crime, which led investigators to unearth a horde of child pornography and terrorist literature, which connected him to the satanic neo-Nazi extremist group called the Order of Nine Angles. Because of my ongoing research into accelerationism, I already had Order of Nine Angles on my radar at this time, and had begun tracking mentions of 764 on social media after the FBI press release in 2023. For this reason, I became aware of a number of alleged victims of Kyle Spitz, who were attempting to get attention in the wake of the video. The victims alleged that Kyle Spitz was a member of 764 and that he had groomed and extorted numerous individuals, including minors, into self-harm and sexual exploitation. The victims stated they were already in contact with the police and that an investigation was underway. Approximately 2 weeks later, on January 31st, 2024, I was contacted by an anonymous source who stated that Kyle Spitz's mom, Melanie Spitz, had died and that Kyle had posted disturbing videos in his Telegram group of the incident. In the source's opinion, the Telegram post indicated that Kyle Spitz had murdered his mom.
This is the guy from that viral video. that they're
The source
talking about.
additionally claimed to have evidence that Spitz had been extorting women to cut themselves since 2016, and that he was in possession of a large quantity of child pornography.
So I'm trying to get to 764, I'm sorry, where that all starts. Because this is all linked to, like, again, this satanic accelerationism. I think that might be in the next video. Yeah.
Over the course of the past 2 years, I've done research into some of the darkest rabbit holes imaginable. My journey began with the fixation on mass shooters and finding an answer to the most pressing questions, like, why are mass shootings becoming more frequent, not just in America, but all over the world? And why does the latest crop of killers differ so dramatically from famous mass murderers of the past? As I began to investigate this, I started noticing that some recent mass murderers weren't simply lone wolf actors. They were members of fringe online communities. Predatory individuals within these communities excel at finding vulnerable people and drawing them in. Once inside, these people can be indoctrinated into hateful ideologies and even groomed into carrying out attacks against the hated outgroups. It seemed, in many ways, like a cult, and I wanted to see if I could identify the charismatic leader. My research led me to some surprising discoveries, including the realization that there isn't a charismatic leader. There's no head to cut off at all. The new landscape of terrorism is rooted in a concept known as militant accelerationism, a collection of theory-backed tactics designed to accelerate the collapse of Western society. The aim of these attacks isn't just to kill people. The aim is to destroy our country. And while mainstream media would have you believe this issue is rooted in American gun culture, or white supremacy, or so-called far-right extremism, the truth is much more complex than they're leading us to believe. In fact, in some cases, the driving force behind this serious terror threat comes from outside our walls. The media would also like us to believe that the neo-Nazi factions in Eastern Europe, such as the Azov Battalion in Ukraine, are Russian propaganda and not actually threats to the US. This is the story about one of those factions, a satanic cult actually, known as the Maniac Murder Cult. My blood went cold when I read the headline. Maniac murder cult leader charged in plot to have Santa Claus hand out poison candy to kids. They got Butcher. It was July 16th when the DOJ announced the indictment of an alleged neo-Nazi murder cult leader who had conspired to commit a mass casualty attack against Jewish and racial minority children in New York City. According to the charging documents, Butcher, whose real name is Mikhail Chikikvishvili, solicited an undercover FBI agent to execute a mass casualty attack of diabolical proportions, first conspiring to dress as Santa and hand out rice and laced candy to racial minorities on Christmas Eve, then to hand it out to Jewish school children at a later date. Butcher, a foreign national originating from the country of Georgia, was the self-proclaimed leader of a violent extremist group known as the Maniac Murder Cult. The group is also referred to as MMC, MKY, or most commonly, MKU. MKU was a satanic, Ukrainian-based neo-Nazi group dedicated to both committing and soliciting acts of racially motivated violent extremism and terrorism, including arson, mass shootings, stabbing sprees, and bombings. MKU adheres to a National Socialist ideology and promotes ethnic cleansing and genocide of non-whites and Jewish people. The group is well known for creating and distributing a terrorism manual titled Hater's Handbook, which is
So yeah, I'm showing all this to show that, like, there's these cells of these cults, and a lot of them are not even on our soil, but they're influencing smaller factions on our soil to pull out to engage in these activities, and they believe that killing children out of school or doing these things is ushering in the reality that they want. It's a death cult. So a lot of times we don't even realize that, like, a lot of these people could be getting radicalized by people that want to see America fall from outside of our walls. It's not even just about the narrative of it's the left or the right, or the left is mad at Charlie Kirk because he doesn't like abortions. You know, it's just about, I want to kill somebody.
I mean, if you go deeper, it sounds like it's demonic and
it's absolutely demonic.
Darkness.
Yeah.
So that there's a deeper plan that even than that, you know.
Yeah. Let me just play a little bit of this 764 aspect of this.
"764 didn't begin as a movement. It began with a teenager. Bradley Cadenhead was 15 when he created the group from his bedroom in Stephenville, Texas. Online, he went by the name Felix, using 764 from his town's zip code. But what that name came to represent would stretch far beyond a single location. His behavior had been escalating for years. At 8, he was already watching adult content. Soon after, it shifted toward violent content, torture videos, gore, anything brutal. And by the time he was 13, he had already been placed on juvenile probation for talking about shooting up a middle school. The next year, he violated the terms and was sent to a juvenile facility. Probation reports showed a steady decline. Cadenhead refused to participate in counseling. He assaulted his mother, he left home without permission, and was eventually hospitalized after ingesting large quantities of Tylenol and cough syrup. Nothing improved. His world got smaller, and when it did, the internet filled in the gaps. He spent most of his time online. Minecraft led him to Discord, and on Discord, he found something else. A server called Cult, spelt CVLT.
Now, I want to point out that when he was playing Minecraft, he met another quote-unquote supposedly boy his age, but what we're finding out and what Cash Patel was talking about is that these people pose as children on these games, but they're really adults a lot of times. And they target these kids, and then they start talking to them about pornography. They start talking to them about showing them graphic content and sending stuff back and forth, and then they invite them into these servers. And this boy got invited into this cult server on Discord, and then he started realizing how much power you could have over other people by using the power of persuasion, and that's how he started his own server called 764, and they're going to get
The
into
group
that.
was run by a French user named Rohan and specialized in grooming minors for explicit content. According to internal reports from Discord's security team, this is where Cadenhead learned to manipulate children. He said another user introduced him to gore, and from there, everything escalated. He took what he had learned and started building a new server. The name was 764. Using variations of the name Felix, he dropped into chat rooms daily, spreading links, posting explicit images, and urging people to join him in more private spaces. When he was banned, he created new accounts. When users pushed back, he threatened them. He bragged about being device banned from nearly every email service. He said he'd gone through over 400 Felix accounts, 100 more just to get back on Discord.
Where's his dad and all this?
I don't think he had one. Or we don't know.
I only heard mom.
Yeah, we don't know like the full history. We don't know if he may have been abused himself. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the times that this happens, it's because their kids are already troubled. The ones that end up getting groomed are ones that are, they're vulnerable. A lot of them don't have dads.
Even Roblox had banned him, twice. In one case, he encouraged a 10-year-old girl to send inappropriate photos of herself. In another, he told someone who had just survived taking their own life to try again. When other users warned him to stop, he laughed. He bragged constantly, said his extortions were wild. Other users called him a god, Felix the CP god. One 14-year-old girl from Oklahoma said she was blackmailed by him into cutting herself on camera, even going so far as making her mutilate her pet hamster. What began?
So I saw an interview with that girl, and she talked about it. Like the tactic that they would use is they would bring in these young girls that are vulnerable and insecure, and then they would like praise them at first and make them feel like accepted, and then they would get them to like, they would start grooming them by getting them to send selfie videos at first, and then they would escalate that into, you know, sending nudes, and then they would take that and then they would start extorting them, which he said, I'm an extortionist. What he means by that is like make them do stuff like cut their name into their body. If you don't do it, I'm going to send your pictures to everybody you know. And then once they get the videos of them doing stuff like that, then it would escalate to like he made that girl literally bite the head off of her hamster on live video for everybody in the Discord to watch. And he told her she didn't want to do it. She said she didn't want to do it, but he threatened to release all of her photos and videos that he had of her if she didn't do it. So he made her do that on live camera.
Really demonic.
Really, really demonic stuff. And he was still young at that time. He was still a teenager at that time. And he's getting power off of, you know, finding these vulnerable kids on these gaming platforms and coercing them and extorting them to do a bunch of stuff. But also they would create these private servers that it was hard to track because there's many layers. Discord is their favorite place to do this because there's many layers of like there's a hierarchy there. Like you can come in as a regular user, but then they can create private areas where you can't get into unless you're invited in, and then they know who to let in and who not to let in. And but this is what Kash Patel is talking about that they're investigating now. This is what the chairman was bringing up, is this group and how it's connected to these killings that we're seeing, and how it's possible that this guy was involved in some of this as well. And just to show, like, this is how they're targeting, and their ideology is, we just want to, like, we believe that it's the more gruesome things that you can do, the more heinous acts you can do, you achieve a higher status in their cult. So that's why they don't have any empathy. That's why they don't care about the, like, watching the interviews and watching the articles. And I'm watching, like, CBS did a story on this, and they interviewed a lot of the victims, the girls and stuff like that. They've convinced people to kill themselves on camera. They've convinced people to light themselves on fire on camera. They've convinced people to commit violent acts against children, against animals. They try to convince them to kill their parents, like all kinds of crazy stuff.
So demonic.
And it's just completely demonic stuff. But so a lot of times I think we are so we get so, like, pulled into this Democrat versus Republican, right versus, we don't understand that, no, there's real evil at work here
behind the scenes.
Yeah. And why is it that a couple of the people that tried to blow the whistle on this at first were being like shunned and, like, pushed to the side and not being taken seriously? Like, that's also strange as well. You know, Kash Patel says that he's investigating this stuff now, but yeah, like, if you guys get the chance and you want to go down this rabbit hole and find out how they're grooming these children using Roblox, using Discord, using Minecraft, using all kinds of online stuff, and, like, this stuff is dark, man. It's dark. And this is why we need to be praying. This is why we need to be protecting our children.
That means children shouldn't be playing Roblox then.
Well, the thing is, you can't engage in that stuff.
Because I don't know what they're getting into. You know what I mean?
You just gotta watch.
Yeah, you
gotta make sure that they're not engaging in those things. Like,
yeah,
you can't.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you gotta talk to your kids.
Yeah.
You can't even just say you can't do this, you can't do that. No, you have to walk them through logic every day. Walk them through the truth every day. And then they just won't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you guys get a chance, do some research on Group 764, on like I said, these esoteric accelerationists and what they believe and what they're trying to, how they're trying to infiltrate young minds in our country, all over the world, actually. But they really care about destabilizing the U.S. And, you know, just we got to protect our children, man.
That's what the devil wants to do.
Yeah, but like the girl said, the girl that did those videos, she is like a private investigator on X. She's got a big channel on X. BX is her name. But she said, like, she was wondering why a lot of the mass shootings were not like the ones in the past. They were a lot of transgender people, a lot of, like, you know, non-binary, gender fluid, like a lot of these, like, weird incel kind of people. It wasn't like the Columbine people. It wasn't like how it was back then. And it's because there's this huge, like, dark underbelly in these Discord chats and in these gaming communities and everything where these people are congregating.
And even a lot of the trans, they're finding out, are autistic.
Yeah.
Right. And some of them, I think, are just like, they don't know how to deal. I mean, I don't know if it's autistic or they're just very, very socially awkward.
Yeah.
You know, so they, instead of dealing with that, they just, oh, I'm trans.
Yep.
I'm different.
Different.
If I'm different now, it's, oh, you're trans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the interview that I don't know if we played any of it, but I sent it to you guys. I watched it with Jordan Peterson and the young girl who was like 20 years old, and she found out later that she was a little bit on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. And she said that she got radicalized online.
Yeah.
That she, again, they love bombed her, told her that they kept praising her. Every step she would take towards that world, they would praise her. Yeah.
But again, so you're finding a lot of these people, they're going into, what does online provide for you? A false reality.
Yeah, a false community.
Yeah, something that you can create.
This is
you're not dealing with life. You're not dealing with tangible things in life.
Yeah. This was a post from BX right here. My latest article explores recent trends in mass shootings and reveals some startling facts. Out of the 5 most recent school shootings, which met the FBI definition of mass shooting, 5 out of 5 shooters were associated with online NVE groups like 764, NLM, MKY, or TCC, all parts of COM. COM is short for community. That's the overarching community of all of these smaller sects of this cult. 4 out of 5 shooters were under the age of 18, and you see they're targeting young kids. And they're coercing these kids to do these things. They're telling them like, you have to do this. Like when you listen to the interviews of when they tried to convince people to take their lives, they're telling them like, this is gonna immortalize you. You have to do it. You have to do it. You know, and they're doing the same thing with telling these people to kill these people.
Wow. And you wonder why China banned it.
Right. Yeah. They still don't know, don't they? They still don't know how this guy got his weapon, right?
I don't know.
They don't know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. 16-year-old shooter at Colorado was radicalized by a variety of harmful online groups like 764, NLM, TCC. This is another one.
Well, what was the medical definition of trans? It was for a long time a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Right? And it recently got changed because of the way
because
how
of woke
and
yeah.
the politic of, you know, making it a movement per se.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one thing I have noticed, and you guys touched on it earlier, was this. I'm watching a lot of people speak out on their transition and the effects it had on their life, and accepting that they made a bad choice. And like I said, once the transition had completed, they were abandoned. Now, those are the people willing to talk about the experience. There's a lot of people who probably stepped into that world, and maybe they're embarrassed or they don't know how to articulate. Like Jake said, not everybody has the ability to speak or should speak. So those people who may be on the fringe of, whether it's some form of autism or the transgender movement or whatever it is, those people now feel, well, I don't have the ability to speak like this. I need to find a group of people that I can connect to. And like you said, that is a predatory group that preys on their vulnerability and then indoctrinates them. You know what I mean?
And then gets them to carry out the things that they don't want to do. So, well, they can't do because they're not physically here, but also it keeps them from getting in trouble. So they send out these people to pull off their agenda, in a sense.
And it's the same. It's the same spirit that's over that. Where look at how people are reacting to this man's death. To now, these people are trying to find a group to fit into to carry out their desires.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where they need a group to feel okay. And then when they realize that they've truly made a mistake, because a lot of them I've watched a lot of interviews, even though YouTube doesn't push it, it suppresses it. You could tell that they know by mutilating their body, it's irreversible.
Yeah.
They can't do anything about it. You know, so imagine that person who don't have the ability to speak like that they are looking for other platforms or venues to express themselves.
And they're looking for they're looking for a community that will make them feel good about their decisions.
Right.
I want to show this because this is crazy too. Like, remember the old man that jumped up and was like, shoot me, I'm the one who did it, and caused a distraction at first?
I've heard about him.
So yeah, it turns out, and this is right in accordance with what we're talking about. George Zinn, the man who allegedly lied and shot Charlie Kirk, helped the real shooter get away, has been arrested for possession of child porn.
Mm-hmm. And he also is affiliated with 9/11 too.
He is. He's connected with that.
And
I've seen that.
else.
A bunch of stuff.
A bombing or something.
They say he's a crisis actor. I don't know.
But it's just interesting that we're talking about these cults and what they're into.
Right.
This older guy is somehow involved, and then also gets caught with child porn. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of strange things going on.
Sounds very Aleister Crowley.
Yes. I was thinking about that when I was looking at like the Order of the Nine Angles and all that. I'm like, this had to emerge from Aleister Crowley because it started in 1970. So you're talking about right after the Beatles and all of that. This had to stem from Crowleyism. And it was in the UK. The guy that started it?
Yeah, the 9-angle thing looks similar to one of the Crowley, I don't know what they call it. It's like stars.
Yeah, it does look.
I mean,
very
if this was in the 1940s when it started, it would be exactly like this.
Right.
You know, Crowley would be a hero.
Yeah.
You know.
But it is interesting that we showed like their agenda is to bring in these dark gods by creating chaos and death and destruction, and it did the opposite in this case. Because we just got done showing all those videos of people who are going to church now, who are finding Christ, who are like getting this spiritual awakening because the devil thought he was doing something.
That's true.
Yeah, because it's fear, but if you fear the Lord more than you fear what's going on, then that's where things shift.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the battle is won. Right? Fear of the Lord is beginning of all knowledge. Fear of the Lord is beginning of all wisdom.
Right.
Fear of the Lord is pure.
Amber said it's crazy because last year and this year, a lot of gaming content creators connected with Minecraft, Roblox type games have been exposed as pedos. Yep.
They haven't. I think Roblox, I don't know if they did it, but I heard that they want to have a dating option in there, or at least the company was proposing that for old, not younger kids.
For like 18 and over, a Roblox dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that. Yeah.
A lot of these, I mean, to make all those games, these people are always in their rooms.
Yes. They're chronically online,
remember
is
our,
what they call it.
Our cousin?
Yeah.
Always in his room.
Yeah.
Always.
I was over there, not lying to you. He would be up till 5 o'clock in the morning on that thing, and then go to sleep and stay sleeping all morning, afternoon, then start again.
Where did he move to?
He's creating games.
Where did he just move to?
Huh?
Where did he just move to?
Germany.
He just moved to Germany.
Oh, that's okay. I thought one of the guys was from Georgia, and I did see some stuff about Germany too.
It's powerful.
Yeah,
it's powerful, man. Especially if you indulge in this thing, the doors are open.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
that's where most of the kids that were bullied when we were in school, you know, a lot of those kids, for whatever reason, now their platform is the gaming world. And that's what a lot of these kids that end up in these, especially the ones that run them, they were severely bullied. But then they find these platforms where they can become the bully because they're not intimidating in person, but on there they can become whoever they want. And in these servers, they become these, like you see that they were calling him the CP God. What kind of God is that?
You know what I'm saying?
Nude Master 5000.
But that's what but he leans into it, and now he's feeling powerful.
Yeah.
That dude, when he was 18, that guy that started 764, he got arrested and he got charged with, he got sentenced to 80 years in prison for everything that they found on him.
Wow.
But the cult lives on.
Mm-hmm.
But he got arrested when he was 18, and he started
80 years?
80 years because of everything they found on him. I'm talking about like making young girls mutilate themselves, kill animals.
That young kid.
Yes, you saw him.
Yeah.
He was 18 when he got arrested.
Wow.
And he had been doing it since he was 15.
Wow.
And he looks unassuming. Like
Yeah.
And he was a troubled youth.
Troubled youth. Started watching adult content at 8 years old.
And this is where boys, you know, I know girls are capable of this, but boys, young men, they take it to another level.
One of the worst ones was a girl, though. She was the one convincing people to unalive themselves.
No, I know, but I know girls. I'm not saying that they're
Yeah.
better. I'm just saying that this seems to be more connecting with young males.
Because they can feel powerful. They can get, especially if you can get young girls to carve your name in their body with a razor. He was doing crazy stuff, bro. Like the stuff that he would make them do on camera. Like the one girl that interviewed, she talked about how they made her put a knife in her vagina.
Oh, gosh, man.
Yeah. But
dark.
Like I said, the darkness thinks it's going to win and has no idea how God is moving.
I believe God is pouring out his spirit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. Hopefully this week we'll bring some better stuff to talk about when we come back on here next week.
Well, I just want to say I'm saddened, but I'm not. I'm not saddened in terms of like a dread.
Not defeated, not in dread.
No.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I know what Charlie is.
Mm-hmm.
I am disheartened for his children.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? I have young kids. You guys have young
Mm-hmm.
kids. That's who my heart hurts for.
Right.
You know, Charlie probably didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
You know, it happened so quick. That's what it is. But the thing that gives me joy is knowing that Charlie submitted his life to Christ, and ultimately that's where he is. You know, sad for the family, but we have to pray for a better society and put God first. But you just showed a lot of evidence that people will move by it. Now we just have to pray that the Holy Spirit really attaches to them and convince and convict their hearts.
Well said, man. All right, on that note, let's wrap it up there, guys. We appreciate everybody for watching. Don't forget, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and warn them about the the last part of this video. But don't forget, we have Patreon if you want to support and become a member of the community. Patreon.com/YoungLionTV. The link is in the description. Get the merch at Jatan.com/shop. Link is in the description. We got a show coming up, live show on November 1st at the City Winery in Philadelphia. citywinery.com/Philadelphia. Get your tickets there, and we'll see everybody next week, man. Peace.
Young Lion, go live, yeah. Young Lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah.